excellent. You know why? This is probably the loudest audience we've had all week. Oh. Feeling the love. Isn't it great being in New York City, huh? Come join us. Emeril Lagasse here. Welcome to Emeril Live. Boy, we got an unbelievable show for you tonight because, you know, everybody has a favorite food that they love to eat and certainly that makes them feel better, right? Everybody? What's yours?
Macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese is yours? How about yours?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Yours too, Moms? Spaghetti? Lasagna. See, everybody's got one of those comfort foods. I actually have several. Depending on what kind of comforting I need at the time, you know? Like, you know, when I'm feeling achy or it's cold outside, I love making kicked up hot chocolate. So I'm going to make a kicked up hot chocolate for you tonight. No, when you're missing Mom, kind of need like a soup. So I figured, hey, why not? I'm going to make a cream of wild mushroom soup for you tonight, show you that. Or like when you feel like you need a hug, you know? Well, at least for me. For me, it's like a kicked up green bean casserole, which I'm going to make one of those tonight, too. Or when you get the winter blues, we all get them, you know? You got to catch up every now and then with a little summertime reminder, and that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to show you my really kicked up blue cheese stuffed hamburgers that are unbelievable. Or sometimes when you just like need a little tune. That's why we got Doc Gibbs in the Emeril Live Band. Doc Gibbs in the Emeril Live Band. Oh, see, I'm already happy. Just that, 3 beats. Happy, happy. Hey, folks, tonight it's all about comfort food right here on Emeril Live. Yes, indeed. I get so happy when I say, Doc Gibbs in the Emeril Live Band. Oh, I love that. How you doing, Jack? Good to see you. All right. Oh, I'm just coming right out the gate. Usually I go over here and, well, I'll go over here to say, hey, hi, how you doing? See, you guys thought these were the cheap seats, huh? How you doing? Hey, guys. All right, I'm just going right at it. Hot chocolate. I got a little milk here in this saucepan. I've had the heat really, really low. And I'm going to add actually a little cream to this as well. Milk and cream. A little bit. But I like to take the chill out of it. Now, just be careful when you're doing this at home. Because that milk and cream stuff, you know, kind of gets hot, boils over. Big troubles. So be careful when you got milk or butter on the stove. Unless, of course, you want to redecorate your house. Then, you know, whatever. Now, in this pot here, once we get that good and hot, what we're going to do is we're going to whisk in some cocoa powder. Yeah, we're going to whisk in some cocoa powder. And then, once we get that dissolved, a little tiny bit of vanilla. Pure vanilla. And then ask yourself, how sweet do you want this? Fairly, I mean, it's got to be a little sweet, right? Not too sweet. So add half the sugar in, dissolve it, then taste it. See if you want it sweeter. Yeah. See how easy it is? So now, you get that all nice and dissolved. This is a perfect way right here for the kids. Excellent. If you're having a rough day and you need to kick it up a little, what I recommend would be to add, gonna add a little bit of that velour. And just in case you want it one more notch, we take a little rum from Jamaica, man. Oh, perfect. Now that's the kicked up version right here. And then what basically you do at that point, Jack, this is for you, buddy. You pour it right inside of the old mug. Smells pretty good.
Excellent.
Then I'm going to show you how I like to finish it up here. Some for you, a little for me, a little more for Jack. Now, take a little bit of whipping cream, whisk it up. You can do it by hand if it's cold enough. Then, get a little whipped cream like that. A little more whipped cream like that. Little chocolate, just to kind of kick it up, you know? Little chocolate like that. That'll get you in the mood right there. You know, there you have it. Emeril's kicked up. Hot chocolate, all right? I got an unbelievable wild mushroom soup. When we come back, stick around. Back in. And the Emeril Band. Welcome back, everybody. Emeril Lagasse here, and if for some reason maybe you fell off another planet, this is Emeril Live, and we're live in New York City. This is a great, easy soup. It's amazing these days now. You know, years ago, not that far along either, you couldn't find mushrooms other than those beautiful Pennsylvania mushrooms. You know, what I call the American mushrooms. You couldn't find mushrooms. Dry maybe, which is okay. Nowadays, look at all the beautiful mushrooms that are out there. Cremini, shiitake. Now, these are cultivated mushrooms that you can grow. They're not wild mushrooms. This time of the year, not a lot of wild mushrooms available. These are some oyster mushrooms. Again, another cultivated mushroom. But they're still very tasty. And I like to, every now and then, my buddy Frank and I were just talking about this mushroom soup, you know, this time of the year. I love doing that. Especially if... you know, one night you can serve it, the next day it's better. You can drizzle a little white truffle oil in there, you know? Oh, yeah. Here's how you do it. This one's for you, Mom. Now, gonna start with a little bit of butter. Hey, somebody's got to help the dairy farmers out here in America, you know? Start with a little butter. Come on, it's gonna feed 42 people. And then what we're gonna do, folks, is we're gonna start with some onion and a little celery. And then we're going to season that with some salt. Because I don't know where you get your onion and celery. Where I get mine, it don't come seasoned. Some salt and some pepper. Now, if you want to make this a little bit spicier, is he bothering you, ma'am? Well, you won't be the only one in the studio, I can tell you that. If you want to kick it up a little notch, right, Jay? Another notch. Whoa! Hey, that's a good thing. No. If that ever happens to you, what just happened to me, let me show you how you save this here. Because people now go, oh my God, I got to throw it out. My mom would be, oh, I wasted a stick of butter. Jeez. Look, just go in there and fish it is what I say, see? Oh yeah, gone. That's it. Now, we're going to saute this. What's going on here? Did we pay the bills or what? A match is hotter than this stove right now. What happened? All right, we'll just pretend cook right now. Maybe I can just draw it for you on... Maybe we should just bring out some of them big flip cards with a couple of magic markers, you know? And I could draw you a... Just kidding. All right. I'm feeling a little sabotaged right now.
Something's going on.
Something's going on with the pepper. Camera guys around here, I don't know. All right, now we're going to add a little garlic. Well, thank you. What goes great with wild mushrooms, a little thyme, a little fresh thyme. We'll take the stems off of this. See, they're pretty hard there, so we just... You didn't have your chocolate? All right, well. Okay. Jack will drink it. We're going to add the mushrooms in here now, folks. Then we're going to season these as well. A little salt and pepper. Now, in this pan right here, I'm going to take good olive oil, and I'm going to add a few cloves of crushed garlic right in here. Oh, yeah, I'll show you why. Once these mushrooms cook for about 6 minutes, this is optional. We'll add a little bit of brandy to this. We'll add a little brandy and let it evaporate out. 2 minutes it evaporates out, and then you want to take chicken stock or chicken broth, cover it up like that. We'll bring it up to a boil, and then we're going to let it simmer. Okay? We're going to let it simmer. Meanwhile, while I'm getting this garlic flavor in the olive oil right now, that's because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some French bread, slightly on the bias like this. See that? And what I'm going to do is take this delicious garlic oil like this and just get it really nice and happy. Get the little more garlic flavor out. And then I'm going to take some grated Parmesan cheese, and I'm going to do like a whole sheet pan of these. And when we come back, I promise you, another notch. Stick around. And the Emeril Band. Buenas noches. Good evening. Welcome back. Cooking up a little comfort food tonight. Had a little hot chocolate kicked up a few notches. Started our wild and exotic mushroom soup. Now, 45 minutes after it comes to a boil, it's going to simmer. Almost about halfway. And now comes question time. You can leave it as it is and serve it. Maybe garnish it with a little parsley or some green onions. You could add cream to it and cream it. So now I've got this cream of mushroom soup. That's what we'll do. We'll add a little bit of cream in there. Then you can ask yourself, do you want that consistency, or do you want to add a little body to it? And that's when you bring the boat motor out. We'll go in there with the boat motor. We're not going to totally puree it. We want some of the texture, but we're just going to puree some of it because we're adding a little body right into that soup. Plus, I haven't used the boat motor in a while. And to keep it flowing, you know? Now, folks, you can garnish this all kinds of ways, but those croutons that I made earlier work just perfectly fine. Or you can use croutons, just regular croutons. Well, I'll show you what I like to do. Nice golden brown. What I like to do is float one or two of these in the bottom. Then before I serve the soup to family or friends, you want to taste it, see if there's any adjustments you need to make. More salt, pepper, fire extinguisher. Oh, yeah, babe. So what I like to do is put one of these on the bottom and then serve the soup. And then float another one on top. Like I said, either some green onions or some chives. There you have it, wild mushroom soup, folks. Comfort food. Casseroles come to mind. I have lots of them. You know, as I was studying and learning in the early days about being a chef, I kind of forgot about those things, you know? I don't know why. Not cool enough, not the gastronomic experience, not enough pavés or coulis in them or whatever. But as I'm getting older, I'm finding myself doing a lot more casseroles. And it's certainly a comfort thing. I mean, I did one just the other night, a spaghetti pie, and I did it in a casserole. It's fantastic. Green bean casserole. Potatoes au gratin. Well, that's a casserole. Spinach au gratin. So I'm going to show you this one right here. Very simple. I'm going to take some green beans. I'm going to salt my water first. And what I did, just to be a little different, is that I actually took a paring knife and just kind of split the opposite way of the seam of these green beans to make sort of like this French bean thing, or whatever. I don't know why. I just felt like it. Standing around playing with my green beans, you know? So, honestly, I'll tell you why. A, they're not going to take a long time or as long to cook. More importantly for me, they're going to absorb the flavor being split of what I'm going to do in this particular casserole. So the salt in the water is really used to bring out the color, add a little flavor. You see how nice and green they are? But I'm not going to cook these things to smithereens here now. So we're going to shock them immediately. And you could also do that in a colander. We're going to shock them immediately to bring down the temperature of our beans. Now, I saved a couple of 3 cups of our wild mushroom soup. I should say cream of wild mushroom soup, because I'm going to add that to the casserole. You can kick it up right now in another pan if you wanted to. You could have some bacon being sauteed in it. And then when it's crispy, you add the onion and a little bit of garlic. Then you take that. I got some cheddar cheese that I'm going to add to this mushroom soup right here. You with me so far? Yeah. All right. Here's what we're going to do now. These are cool. Perfect. Got my casserole. Going to add the green beans in here. Going to season them up. Little salt, little pepper. Gonna take that cheesy mushroom soup now. Mix in that cheese. I'm gonna pour it right over the green beans. When I'm ready, I can just, it's done. The only thing you can do is maybe top it with a little bit of cheese, some more, okay? Basically, it's done. When I'm ready, I pop it in the oven. Sometimes to kick it up a notch, as a garnish, I put fried onions. After I spoon the casserole out, I put fried crispy onions on it. How do you do it? Really simple. You take some onions, take some out here. Take some onions like this. Take some hot sauce. And you just add a little hot sauce on these onions like this. Then you take them. Then you take them and put them in some flour. A little bit of seasoning. Shake them around. Take them out of the old basket like this. You see that? Shake off all the excess flour. 350 degrees. We'll fry them up. When we come back, another notch. Stick around. Lock in. Music of Doc Gibbs and the Emeril Band. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, folks, we're cooking up a bunch of comfort food tonight. And before I go to my next dish, I want to finish where I left off with this green bean casserole, which is right here. And like I said, this is yummy, yummy, right like this. Wild mushroom soup, green beans. You want to put some onions in there, garlic, goes in the oven. If you want to kick it up another notch, When we fried the onions, we got the little hot sauce thing going on. We season them with a little bit of salt. See, and then what you do, folks, is you can just put these crispy onions right on top. You see? And then when you're ready, 350, 375, we'll put it in the oven. Fantastic. Speaking about fantastic, I said earlier, sometimes you get the blues in the winter and you just got to do something to kind of remind you about summer. For me, it's good burgers. So, I've been waiting to reveal this secret burger. But for you guys, hey, you know, I love you, you know, so it's like, you got to do it. Check it out. Ground sirloin, ground chuck. Make sure it's pretty lean, though. Chopped garlic cloves, right? Some salt for the old meat. Fresh ground pepper. You can get away with that. For me to, you know, got to add a little essence in there, you know what I mean? That's it. No breadcrumbs, no... Sometimes I'll put a little chopped onion in here. You know, small, chopped, or grated onion, a little bit. But I'm going to show you why I'm not doing it today. What you do is you make yourself a small patty. Well, like such. Then, I take blue cheese, and I make a blue cheese patty. So I take the crumbled blue cheese and just make a patty with the blue cheese. You with me? It's called hide the blue cheese. So we do that. Another patty. You do this ahead of time. Keep them in the ice box. Keep them good and cold. See? Then you put them together like this. You with me so far? That's a burger. Go in those joints, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking? You got to order like 8 or 10 just so you can take all the burgers out and put them together, you know? That's a burger. You take them out of the ice box, and then what you do is you take a little bit of oil, like vegetable oil, you rub the bottom. See, they're so happy right now. Oh, these things are purring in my hand here. See? Nice. It's a food of love thing. Put them on the bottom, a little oil like that. Oh. It's the simple things that make people happy, you know? Like me. Oh. What do you do, sir? I be a burger massager. Down there on 9th Avenue. When we come back, another notch. Stick around. Doc Gibbs and the Emeril Band. Welcome back, folks. Happy. This is about rare to medium rare right now. Is that all right with you guys? If you want them, cooked more, that's fine. We're going to let them rest a couple minutes. I'll tell you why. So they get happier that way. And you see how they kind of have a tendency of splitting? Don't panic. You don't have to call like the hamburger or police or whatever, you know? It'll be all right. Matter of fact, it's going to be more than all right when I show you what we're going to do. Because we're going to make this sauce for these burgers right now. Oh. Green peppercorns. Love them. You know, like that steak au poivre thing? Are you getting the feel of the love where I'm going right now? Meat, blue cheese, green peppercorn. It's. Little bit of Dijon mustard. White vinegar. The acidity. Instead of lemon juice, I'm going to use white vinegar. Little bit. And an egg. He is building rockets right now. Rockets. Little salt. Then, take a little bit of vegetable oil and you slowly drizzle so you don't break it. Any kind of emulsion, mayonnaise, tartar sauce, you want to add slow like this so it doesn't break. Trust me. It's a mess when it breaks. Some little pouring music by Doc Gibbs. Or you have some drizzle music too?
Oh, yeah.
They have the drizzle and the pouring music by Doc Gibbs. Welcome back to Emeril Island. Don't worry, folks. We won't be eating no bugs here. Okay. Takes time. I'm sorry. It's a food of love thing. If you add it too fast, it breaks. You got a mess on your hands. Now we're ready to go. All right. First things first. Green bean casserole. Check that out. See, it's all bubbly and gooey and stuff. Oh, yeah, babe. Check this out. We're going to take one of these buns, and we're going to take the green peppercorn mayonnaise, and we're just going to, because it's kind of spicy, you see? We're just going to smear that. Whoop. Yeah, both sides. Hate one-sided tasting stuff, you know? Then, lettuce. Works for me. Little salt. You want tomato, pickle, onions, whatever you want. See now how the burger's setting? You see how the cheese is starting to ooze out? You put that right on there. Put that right on there. See that? So to give you the full effect, here it is. Full effect time. Got the kicked up blue cheese burger. Serrated knife. That's what that is, with the teeth on it. In case you just landed. You're wondering why your burger's like a mess before you even get it. Now look at this. See that? Oh, yeah. Okay? Now look at this. You serve that with a little bit of green bean casserole and some of that fried onions, just like this. And that's comfort food for me. That's what I say right there, okay? Jack, I don't know if you'll find him in L.A. Now, enjoy. Let me tell you, this is another comfort food thing that's gone. Whatever happened to tapioca? You know, I don't understand. Tapioca is the starch from cassava or yucca. Nothing to be afraid of. Here's how we're going to start. We're going to use a quick tapioca. You know, there's the old-fashioned, you take your, a while to cook. Now they make a quick one. So in this pot right here, I'm going to add, watch this, milk, orange juice, going to whisk in a couple of eggs, some orange peel, sugar, a little vanilla. Everything's cold, okay? And then the tapioca granules. Now we turn the heat on, and now we're going to let it cook. When we come back, I'll show you what we're going to do with this incredible tapioca kicked up. Stick around. Back in. And the emeril band. We were talking on the break. See? You just got to keep stirring it. Whatever happened to all the tapioca? It's like gone. You get tapioca, a little orange. I'm going to show you a great tapioca pudding parfait. I got a little bit of ladyfingers. And they're crunchy. Purposely, they're stale. But not for long. So I take them and then I hit them with a little Grand Marnier. Then a little bit of orange. A little bit of orange. Lady fingers. We'll just put one. Just put one up like that. Then you can take some of the tapioca and set it like right in there. See that? And then what you should do is build these up like this and then let them sit up in the ice box. Let them sit in the ice box for a little bit. And then when you're ready, you pull them out. Okay? And then how I like to finish them, again, you can then put in the lady finger and then a little bam! Just a little bam. Then I like to just hit it with another bit of whipped cream. Okay? And there you have it. A little tapioca parfait. Comfort food, what a beautiful thing. Hey, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. I'm Emeril. See you tomorrow. Whoa.